Oh, Syfy channel, we just love to hate you. Really.
So, would you take a Superman that's actually a woman or a Wonder Woman that's a man? Well, we got another iconic character that's getting a sex change. Also, we have the latest developments in the multiverse, a fantastic interview that's coming up on today's Slice of Slice.
Covering all the news from every dark corner of the universe. SliceofSciFi.com.
And welcome everyone to another Slice of Sci-Fi. I'm Michael R. Menengay, and of course joining us as always is our own Brian Brown reading the news. We have some color commentary by Tom and Alex, and of course Megan is here to bring us the video.
To ruin the video is what I'm doing right now. You can't tell, but that's what I'm doing.
No, you're not ruining the video.
Matt suddenly exploded into a ball of flame and became Alex.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was going to say. I wondered about that one. I thought he's Matt. Anyways, let's do some news.
All right.
Your news team is next.
Oh, Syfy. We love
to
hate you.
What do we do about that?
So, on last week's show, you guys obviously lamented about the loss of Syfy's Alpha after 2 seasons, and the news broke as we were recording last week's installment, giving us time to once again lament the loss of the genre series from the cable outlet. After 2 seasons and just 24 episodes, the show has shown some... Obviously, we love it. I mean, it's awesome. It is fantastic, the second season of it. But... yeah, that's it. It's getting canceled.
Really?
For sure, actually. So
that's just
we won't
sad.
get any resolution at all. So, of course, folks, we know you probably have, hopefully you have lots to say about this because we loved Alphas. I don't know about other folks out there, but call our voicemail line, our listener feedback line.
Yes.
And that number is
206-339-TREK. That's 206-339-8735.
So there you go, folks. And with the news that Alphas was canceled, there is other news that maybe Syfy is trying to get back in business with Ron Moore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So according to Deadline, Moore's new series Helix is close to a 13-episode order from Syfy.
Really?
Yes. Now, the order would come without a pilot, and we'll see the project go straight into series. So Helix from Sony Pictures TV is where Moore is under an overall deal. It's about a team of scientists investigating a possible disease outbreak at an Arctic research facility who find themselves trying to protect the world from annihilation.
Again, I hate it. It's just constant. We can't keep it in. We can't have nice things. That's just what it comes down to.
The project, which will hopefully debut later this year. It was written on spec, by the way, by Cameron Porcida, who serves as co-executive producer. So kind of interesting. I remember reading something about Helix a little while back, but it was all just kind of speculation. But the fact is that obviously they're already got it close to an order for it. These are going to move pretty fast. So the question is it going to be good? I don't know. So, Megan, how do you feel about iconic comic book characters getting sex changes?
I'm kind of for it.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think some people hate it when their cheese gets moved. So Zack Snyder is looking to turn the Superman universe on its ear with the upcoming reboot of Man of Steel. Now, could that be including that there's going to be a new, like Starbuck was now made a woman? And what they're saying is that somebody noticed that Jimmy Olsen is missing from the cast.
Ooh.
But there's a Jenny Olsen listed.
Interesting.
So, it's led to speculation that Jimmy could be reimaged as Jenny Olsen in Man of Steel. Now, actress Rebecca Buller plays...
Bueller.
Yeah, no, it's Buller. Buller, actually.
Bueller.
No.
It probably was Bueller, and then she changed it.
No, and she plays Jenny in the upcoming movie. Beyond that, the details have been not confirmed by anybody. Nobody, when the project will say yay, nay, nothing of the sort. It's all speculation at this point.
They're going to try and keep that under wraps.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But interesting. I could see that. I really could.
I have no problem with that.
I don't have any problem with that either.
I might have a problem with it because he's Superman's best friend, and so if it ends up being like just a wrench to throw into the whole Lois Lane Superman romance,
that might be
annoying.
That could.
You know who I'd like to see? A female Perry White.
Ooh,
that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
That's a great idea. Why not? I mean, we changed M in the Bond series.
Yep.
Why not?
And one last little story, probably. I think we have little time for it. Yeah. So the Homer classic, Greek classic story, The Odyssey, is going to be dropping the togas and picking up space suits.
Okay.
Warner Brothers is developing a new sci-fi version of the epic tale, and this is reported by Deadline. The Odyssey tracks the struggle of Odysseus to return from those wars. Of course, the wars or those wars. We don't really know what kind. How are they going to spin it in space? We don't know.
That's true.
So some space war,
New
basically.
Troy.
And of course, as the suitors line up to marry his wife and sponge off his estate, and of course, waiting for her to make that decision. So now Terry Douglas of 1821 Pictures came up with the idea of setting the tale in space. Kind of different, kind of like it. Now Dugas and Paris Cassidocostas Lattis brought the idea to Warner Brothers, who initially had Brad Pitt attached to it, but Brad Pitt has left that project now. So, but it sees obviously potential in this franchise and is being steered by Greg Silverman and Courtney Valentini and Rachelin Buenavensti. So there's some good bigger names in the industry. So the question is I would buy it, wouldn't you? I mean, I'd like to see the Odyssey in space.
I could, because we've seen it so many times before. Things that you don't think would actually work that do work in the space realm. I mean, Star Trek was brilliant at doing that. You just basically build a world that is very similar to ancient Greece in the way that they work, their philosophies, their laws, and all of a sudden, boom, you've got the same thing.
That kind of segues into our interview that we have with Isaac this week, talking about Romeo
and Juliet, right?
Exactly.
Right.
It's just about taking sort of speculative fiction and having it be influenced by classical fiction, which I think is awesome.
It is. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool concept, I think. So, one more story, or should we probably bolt to Multiverse?
Let's go ahead and do Multiverse, and then we'll come back.
Yeah, I guess a couple things to talk about.
It's not the universe. It's not the trioverse. It's Tales from the Multiverse. When we last left the story, Bosco was trying to help Nigel Blackwood convince Sean, Shane, Skizbot, and Crazy Joe to help rescue Lance Neutron.
Bosco, you can come out. There's no reason to hide anymore. You can help us plan to save Lance.
I still don't know why we should rescue the little geek, though.
Yeah, why should we bother saving Lance after all he's done?
Why should we save him? I'll tell you why. I'm a robot dog. I'm made of mostly servos and chips. I have cameras for my eyes and a rubber gasket for my lips. But Lance gave me this voice box, and he upgraded my language skills. And I love him even though what I mostly do is clean up his spills. So you can say he's evil, but I know that he's not. Well, he may not be perfect, but he's the only friend I got. So you can tell the world he's bad, say he's a scheming, slimy lout. You can write it in the captain's log, but I can never leave him, because you're always a sympathetic character to your dog. To your dog.
Did that really just happen? Joe, are you crying? Shut up. I just really like dogs.
Fine. We'll rescue the little dweeb. But as soon as Crazy Joe gets a junk punch in, he's mine for that little teleporter incident.
We have made our decision then. set course for the puppy mothership. We are going to rescue Lance Neutron.
As a telepathic, omnipotent, trans-dimensional intelligence, I have no difficulty submitting feedback to my favorite podcast, Slice of Sci-Fi. Pitiful humans, however, cannot even disturb the dreams of mankind over millennia and drive the weak-minded and sensitive mad. If you are having complications sending your dark visions of insanity to Brian Brown, download the Slice of Sci-Fi app for your iPhone or iPad. You will be able to listen to episodes and submit your blasphemous prayers to unnameable gods via audio, video, or email. Download the Slice of Sci-Fi app today.
The Slice of Sci-Fi app is Eldegard approved. Slice of Sci-Fi is not responsible for any neuroses, psychoses, visions of apocalypse, cannibalism, mass hysteria, devil worship, self-mutilation, or insanity that may occur during the use of the Slice of Sci-Fi app. Consult your psychiatrist before use.
And welcome everyone to another Slice of Sci-Fi. I'm Michael Armenengay.
I'm Brian Brown. And we also have Megan Zier over there as well, running our camera as always.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank God my name is there, but it's spelled wrong.
That's fine. And on the phone with us today, we have Isaac Marion. Now, the name may not necessarily ring any bells, but what we're going to talk to him about definitely will. Warm Bodies. He is the author of the book, and also the movie's coming out soon, so we're going to talk to him a little bit about that. Welcome, Isaac.
Thank you.
So, Warm Bodies was, we just watched the trailer and I think the first 4 minutes of it. So, we heard a little bit about it, but we really didn't know a whole lot about it. So, why don't you just kind of give our listeners an overview of what Warm Bodies is about?
It's about a zombie who wishes to be a little more than that. And he kind of goes about this process of transformation via a relationship with a human girl who sort of helps him rediscover humanity.
And in the movie specifically, Nicholas Hoult plays our zombie R. and so Megan was pointing this out that it sounds a lot like.
Yeah, it's based on Romeo and Juliet, right? Or it's inspired by it.
There's sort of a running joke or a running theme in there that connects to that, but I wouldn't go as far as say it's based on it, but they're definitely
inspired.
Inspired by.
Inspired by sounds better.
Exactly. That means you could have been thinking about it while you were writing.
Yeah. It's definitely in there, but it's not like a modern retelling of Shakespeare or anything quite that extreme.
Yeah, it's not Shakespeare with zombies? What?
Not quite.
Now the actual book title is a little different than the movie title, correct?
No, that's the title.
It's
Warm Bodies is
the
actual
and
title.
then you have a second book or a prequel, is that correct?
Yeah, prequel is called The New Hunger.
That's the one. That's the one I was seeing is The New Hunger. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
And what's the New Hunger about?
It's like you said, it's a prequel. It takes place 7 years prior, and it's a novella, so it's not like a majorly epic story, but it's kind of about an early encounter in these characters' lives in the younger stages of their lives, and in R's case, his first few days as a zombie, where he's trying to figure out who and what he is. And so it's kind of just a couple days in this early history time that sort of will lead into the eventual sequel, kind of sets things up for the sequel.
Now, I know we're really excited and waiting for this movie to come out, but I always like to ask authors this when they, how much of the book actually did make it to the screen? How accurate are they with the telling of the story?
As far as content and what happens and the characters and everything, it's more than usual. I would say, especially for a book that wasn't a huge phenomenon when it was optioned. I mean, it wasn't even on shelves yet at the point that they optioned it. So, given all that, I'm actually very surprised and pleased at how faithful of an adaptation it is. Of course, things always change to some extent, particularly kind of in the overall mood and tone of it is a little bit more towards comedy than the book is, although the book has a lot of satirical comedy in it. But yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more lighthearted than the book, but definitely close to the spirit of it.
So, what made you go, I'm going to write a story where the protagonist is a zombie? And the love interest is going to be this human female. I mean, where you're just all of a sudden just spitballing ideas, and all of a sudden, bam, that's what you came up with?
Well, it started with just the first part of what you just said. I thought that it would be interesting to write a story from that perspective as sort of a way to look at life from a very different perspective, from the perspective of a dead person, and thought it would kind of produce some interesting results to just dive into that headspace and sort of imagine what life would look like from someone completely cut off from it. And I knew I wanted this character to learn and change and kind of become more human and figure out what being human is about. And I figured the best catalyst for that, the best drive for someone to kind of reconnect to being alive is probably love, and being one of the strongest emotions we have. So it sort of just naturally transitioned into a love story of sorts. Very strange and dark and twisted love story.
But you know what? It's great. And the funny thing is, we always laugh that we always have a twisted bent amongst us, and that this fits just like right in there. Yep. Right in our wheelhouse. We're like, why aren't there more zombie love stories?
No, I'm sick of vampires.
Yeah.
Why not zombies?
I'm with
Why
you.
not?
Yeah. Now, I was really impressed with the social commentary that you've got going on in the first 4 minutes that I saw in that of the movie, that they were basically talking about. It was the zombie shuffling through the mall, the airport, and he's talking about how it'd be nice if everybody talked and communicated and interacted together. And you see this shot of modern day, and nobody's interacting, nobody's doing anything. They look exactly like the zombies. There's no difference between the zombies and the human people, and I'm hoping that continues on and throughout the theme of the book and through the movie.
Yeah, that definitely is a running theme. Is that a lot of the humans, especially in the book, it's kind of even more underlined that there's at the extreme ends of both of these types of humanity. There's people that are pretty far gone. In the zombies case, there's zombies that are even less human, which are kind of the antagonists because they have no connection left, and they're just kind of like withered skeletons. And then on the human side, there's people that are technically alive, but only technically, and don't really have much heart left in them.
Wow. And it just
start blurring the lines. I love the blurring of the lines. That's awesome.
That is really cool. So you said there's going to be a sequel to all of this?
Yeah, that's my current project. I kind of just wrapped up this prequel interlude that will sort of bridge the gap between Warm Bodies and the sequel that I'm doing now. And I'm not sure. Early in that process, I don't have a title or like a story synopsis by any means yet, but that's kind of what I'm diving into currently.
Wow. So we've kind of caught you right on that cusp of starting to piece together the synopsis and where you want to take the characters and all that.
I mean, I have the story in my mind. I just haven't fleshed it out well enough to give it like a 30-second pitch.
And that's fine. I definitely don't expect that, especially because we got you right.
Well, and plus, all the questions I have would probably spoil the movie and the book for me, and I'm not ready for that yet because I got to read it.
Yeah, that's the thing. We want people to go out and check it out. And
absolutely. And do check it out, because if you have not watched this on YouTube, the trailer is available on YouTube, and the first 4 minutes are available. And I think you'll be as pleasantly surprised as we were on it. It was it's a brilliant little take on zombies.
and Isaac, how long has the book been out for then?
It came out in April of 2011.
Okay, so it's been out,
not very long.
Yeah, been out for a couple of years. But I'm surprised that with we've talked about the trends in movies, and vampires are a big thing, and urban fantasy. And I'm surprised that zombies are pretty big, and that it took a while for now people finally are really going to find this book. It seems like.
Yeah, it was kind of the situation was a bit weird with the release of the book, because at the time the book came out, the movie was already in process and early production. So the strategy, I'm assuming, was kind of, let's just wait till the movie comes out and it'll take care of the marketing for us. So, you know, there was some marketing was done, but I think there was not as much of an effort as there would have been because of that fact. Because it's true. I mean, the amount of marketing that a publisher can put behind a book, especially a debut novel, is a tiny drop in the bucket compared to a national film.
And
so,
I'm sure the production company is going to just put tons of money. You know, not only if you like the movie, read the book now, and hopefully that'll fill the coffers.
Just a waiting game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've been patient for these last 2 years, knowing that this would be a moment where people actually know it exists. So
yeah, and all your friends are like, yeah, Isaac, sure, movie, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so now you have the opportunity here as the author. What is the takeaway that you want the audience to really get from the book and the movie that's coming out?
Oh man, it's always tough to sum it up quickly without it seeming a little bit cheesy. But I guess, kind of like I mentioned in telling the description of the story, it's kind of just about being human and about being not just walking around, but really engaging with life. So the process of watching these characters go through that, even some are dead and some are living, and they're both kind of trying to live better and more, and that's kind of the main theme of the whole thing.
All right. Well,
awesome.
Well, Isaac, real fast, where can people find information about you and your book?
Probably the quickest place would be my blog, which is burningbuilding.com.
Okay.
That has all the most up to date, and it's updated a bit more frequently than other areas. But
and I'm sure you're on the Facebooks and the Twitters.
Yeah, I have there's a fan page for the book and for myself, which both kind of have different information on them, and then I actually have an official website, IsaacMarion.com, which is kind of just a collection of all the different avenues that I have.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Well, Isaac, we are all out of time, but thanks for speaking with us today. It's been awesome talking with you.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, folks, go out, check it out. Warm Bodies, Isaac Marion, and we will be back with more Slice of Sci-Fi right after this.
Good evening, Slicers. Sean from Edwards with your
news from Flight Test Land.
Got a short one for you this week, folks. Not a whole lot going on in Flight Test Land, but DARPA and NASA have announced a new joint project where they're going to, and I kid you not, look at developing a glider to launch rockets. In a lot of ways, this is similar to the Stratolaunch project being worked on out in Mojave. But instead of a large transport aircraft, likely a repurposed NASA 747, will tow up a large glider which will carry a rocket underneath of it. Now, this may sound a little crazy, but the math and the science behind it are actually pretty fascinating and could work. It could result in a 40% more efficient rocket, which will carry up to a 25% larger payload. So, pretty interesting stuff. Once the aircraft reaches 40,000 feet, the glider would or maybe not separate from the towcraft, launch its rocket, then it would definitely be released and land on its own, piloted or unpiloted. And also, because people were making comments about it last week, if you want to know what space smells like, well, according to NASA astronauts, when they come in from doing EVAs, they say that basically space tends to smell like a barbecue at a NASCAR pit, with the smell of burnt metal, burnt diesel fuel, and burnt meat all kind of combined into some odd smell. Scientists say that this is most likely the result of cosmic background radiation, stellar radiation, and even radiation off the Earth's own ionosphere interacting with the spacesuits the astronauts wear. Pretty interesting, and, well, if you like NASCAR and barbecues, you might like the smell of space. Dr. Edwards out.
Man, who doesn't though? Come on.
I like me some space NASCAR.
Yeah. And how, man?
That's what it's going to be soon, right? With all the ad space going on the shuttles.
There you go.
Well, man, only if they're turning left around the world.
Well,
the
that's
globe. They can only turn left. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
now on.
You know what? There you go. You're basically orbiting that direction. You're doing left turns. It's just like NASCAR.
Tell you what.
I'll tell you, we got a whole new sport here.
So let's finish off with one little story. So, Alex.
Yeah.
Alex Matt. Would you pay to see Hot Tub Time Machine 2?
Actually, I probably would.
Yeah, I think I would too because I actually like Hot Tub Time Machine. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what's going on. MGM is looking for another dip in that pool.
Wait, do I have to Loogle it first?
No. So yeah, Loogle it. The original comedy actually was a big success for MGM, guys. It won. Supposedly they earned a ton of money on it.
Really?
So, yeah, I know. Have you seen it, Megan, at all?
I haven't
It's not
seen
really
it, but
your-
I have. Well, I'm going to see it eventually. But I have to say, every time I hear the title, I laugh.
It's pretty funny.
It
and
sounds funny.
It is pretty amusing. So now the big talk, according to Hollywood Reporter, is that it's negotiating with 3 of the 4 original stars. Can you guess who probably is not going to be in it?
John Cusack.
Bingo, exactly.
Probably.
He was, originally said not to be involved in negotiations, but pieces have been slowly coming together the past several months, and sources caution that deal making is an early stage, of course. And I read somewhere where Rob Corddry, who plays the metal guy in there, he's also co-writer for it, said that basically Cusack was being an ass.
Okay.
And a hole. And it's mostly about his salary. And I'm like, okay, well, I understand Cusack can draw a big salary, but still, it's like, come on, dude. Do it for the fun of the having a cool movie and a genre type.
It's not like you're Joan Cusack. Come on.
Correct, you are.
All right.
On that note.
And on that note, we're done. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll
be back in a couple days.
We'll be back in a
Promise.
couple days, and hopefully we'll have a bunch of technical problems fixed.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Anyway, thanks, everyone. Bye.